this thing on? I always wanted to do that. This is No Ordinary Podcast, episode 1. I will be your guide, your host, your best friend, your worst enemy. I will be whatever you want me to be through this journey. Thank you so much for listening. If it's your first time, thank you. Appreciate it. If you plan on rocking out, I appreciate you even more. If it's your last time, good luck on the view. I really do appreciate it. My name is Michelle, and I will just be guiding you through my life, my brain, what's going on in the world. You'll get different takes on situations from my point of view, maybe a few others as well. I will be interacting with you guys, so it won't just be what I have to say. I will have my social media sites listed and open for any feedback, any input, anything you want me to touch base on. This is our podcast. It doesn't belong to just me, even though I'm the one doing everything. But it will be just a journey, and thank you for joining me. So, this episode is an intro, and you'll just be getting inside of my brain. If you don't know me, I'll be giving you just a few little gems about me so we can all warm up. It's like the first date. You're nervous until it gets over with, and then you're like, wasn't that bad. So, my name is Michelle, again, for those who do not know me. I am 27 years old. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I currently live here as well. Hopefully not for too much longer. Some of you may know me from one of the schools I attended. Elementary was Dilworth. Shout out to everybody that went there. I love that school so much. Middle school was St. Benedict. I met a lot of great people there that are still in my life today, oddly. High school, same thing. I went to Older Dice. If you really know me, I did 2 weeks at Oliver because I got kicked out in the 9th grade. So my first 2 weeks of 10th grade was at Oliver, and I hated it. But I stuck it out because that's what real people do. You don't just give up. You just don't. I knew I wanted to go back to Older Dice, and I knew I was going to finesse it. Shout out to Nana. If you know, you know. I ended up going with her, moving to Hazelwood, and everything was just great after that. I did a few semesters at CCAC, the one on the north side, aka the 13th grade. I visited a lot of colleges. Shout out to my homegirls, homeboys. I'm not about to list these colleges because I didn't even go there, so I'm not about to sit here and cap, but I experienced a little bit of the college life, and it was lit. Let me think. If you know me, knowing me is to love me. I don't really have too many people that don't like me, unfortunately. I would say that I'm a good person, despite my name being Shell Stay Scheming on Instagram and Mother Scheme on Twitter. Scheming is not a bad thing. I mean, there's a great song called Stay Scheming. That's where I got my name from. And I feel like I went through life just finessing, as you should. If you don't like a situation, you gonna work it to be the best thing that it could be, to benefit you. I don't consider it a bad thing. Anybody that has been schemed by me was a voluntary participant. I didn't coerce anybody to do anything that they did not want to do already. Moving right along, I'm trying to think of what else you guys need to know about me. I'm a mother, first and foremost. Shout out to my baby. So my actual mother decided to call me in the middle of a pod. I need people that are tech savvy because when my phone's on Do Not Disturb, she could call me and her calls get through, and I do not know how to change that. Moving right along, this isn't a specific category of podcast. I wouldn't say this is just going to be about advice. I wouldn't say it's just going to be a day in the life. I wouldn't say it's a music podcast, a sports podcast, a news podcast. We really can't be put into one specific category. I will really be touching base on everything. And if you're still listening past 5 minutes in, you'll see how crazy things can get with me. I mean, there's so much going on in today's world. Just like August 2020, if you made it this far, pat yourself on the back, because this has been a year. Like, out of all my years, this was just a wild one. I mean, not even just Corona. So much stuff has happened. Like, I don't want to sound like a meme, but I really feel like Kobe died and stuff just went like downhill from there. And Kobe Bryant is my favorite basketball player, so you can only imagine how I felt. And then to turn around and not have no birthday. Like, birthdays to me are a very big deal. I don't care if you're turning the weirdest age possible and you're not in the best mood. Your birthday is the one day that you really get to be about you. And I was so sad. Like, oh, Corona. Not only my birthday, my baby's birthday, me and my son are like, we're not our birthdays are 8 days apart. I was going to say 8 days apart. No, our birthdays are 8 days apart. My birthday is March 31st. His is April 8th. We're both Aries. And if you don't know your sign and you're not in tune, please like tap into that, because I'm real big on astrology, and I'm not one of the people that's like, oh, everything that they say is right. Like, no, your parents fucked you up. Don't get me wrong. Like, that don't got nothing to do with astrology. Like, yeah, it was your parents. It was your upbringing. It's what you saw. But your signs, you do have stuff in common with it. Like, there's not a person that I met that knowing their sign, knowing them, it didn't make sense. Like, there's not one person. And I said that to say to all my Aries out there, you ain't wrong. People just don't understand you, and that's okay. But moving right along, back to Corona, it just really, like, Corona really made things be in perspective for a lot of people. Like, when you were dealing with stuff and life was happening before this, just imagine, like, your job being like, nah, yeah, we're cool. Or your job being like, yeah, we still want you to work and we're going to send you home like mine with all your computers, and it ain't stopping nothing. Like, daycare is shut down. The world really shut down. Like, you can't even go to the bar now after 11, which is very unfortunate for me, but I definitely make it shake. So I get my money's worth, period. I just got to be to the bar earlier. Before, I was getting there at 11. Now I got to get there at 8. But I just feel like this time definitely showed me a lot about myself. Like, I don't think if the world was like completely open or this stuff didn't happen, that y'all would even be having a pod, to be honest. Like, it really put a lot of things in perspective for me. And like, the time, it was just like you really had to make the most of it. And for those people who don't like being alone or don't like being in the house, it sucked for us. Like, I legit, like, I was thinking, oh, I'm not going to hold y'all. I was going to the same places, like my homegirl's crib or like my family, but I couldn't just sit in the house. Like, I couldn't do it. I did go out of town once. Does it really count? Yeah, because this is a different state. I did go out of town once. I took my son in June. But it's just like, people were still out here. Y'all still traveling, and y'all ain't wrong for that. Like, get out here and get that stuff moving. Like, don't let that stuff stop you. And be safe about it. Like, I'm not saying, like, okay, don't let it stop you. Like, if you wanted to stay in the house for the greater good, then that's what's up. But I mean, like, for those people that had plans for their birthday or had stuff they wanted to do and they was on planes every week with a mask or every month, shout out to y'all. You wasn't wrong for that. Like, you weren't wrong for that at all, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. I really believe, like, do what makes you happy and do what you want to do. Like, the people that are in my age group, especially, like, in your your late 20s, like, do what makes you happy and don't look over your shoulder at what somebody else is doing. Because I fell victim to that. Like, I was so into, like, oh, well, this person got a podcast, that person got a podcast, this person's doing that. And then with social media, it's like nobody's posting their failures. You're only going to see the good. So if you want to sit there and drive yourself crazy about it, be my guest. But you can't compare nobody else's journey to your own, because it's their journey. If they are ahead of you, you feel like it's just meant for them to be ahead. You don't know what they did behind closed doors to get there. You can't assume. You just have to literally focus on yourself. And I had to learn that the hard way, because if you really know, this podcast was been in the works. Like, I've been, like, this is almost a year to when I started it. Before I had episodes recorded and everything, like, with a camera, and then, you know, things changed. Like, I was very dependent on other people. And now, like, I'm recording this, I am distributing it. Everything you see about this podcast is me. And that's no shade to nobody. But if you want something done, you're going to have to do it yourself. And I just feel like what's going on in the world today, I just don't want to have any regrets anymore. Like, I don't want to live with regret thinking I should have did this or I should have did that. Like, I want to go and do it, period. Because I'm not really going to touch base on a lot of things and give my opinion, especially when it comes to being black in today's society. But if you have a brain, you know what's going on, and how you choose to let it affect you is completely up to you. How you maneuver, just because you don't post every day about it, doesn't mean you don't know it's happening. And if you post every day about it, really read what you're posting, or don't just repost. Really take time to look and see, because my favorite sport is basketball. And what the NBA and those basketball players are doing to hold down the whole Black Lives Matter movement is nothing short of amazing. Like, nothing at all. You could really take away people's money, the glitz, the glamour, and at the end of the day, that's a person. Like, everybody has feelings, and just to see what they're doing and what they're sacrificing really means a lot. Definitely, especially with what's going on. And it's just like, I don't even really want to dive into too much and really, really give it to y'all raw and uncut. But it's just like, I don't know no other way to do it. Like, we all got social media. We all seen what's going on with Meg Thee Stallion and getting shot and people crucifying a victim. It's like, I don't know. There's just so much going on in the world, and I am so thankful that I have a voice and I'm able to use it. And again, we're not going to agree. I told you in the beginning of the podcast, I will be your best friend or your worst enemy. And if you want to debate or anything I say, feel free. You could pull up on me. This podcast is recorded at my house. You could pull up to the crib. If you have something to say and you want to speak on it, speak on it. You could DM me. I will read it. It really doesn't matter. But I just ultimately couldn't have my first podcast without touching base on those two topics because it's really wild to me. Like, I sit back and I'm not very vocal on things. I'll repost here and there, but I don't do the most like some people do. But it doesn't mean that it's not affecting me or I'm not thinking about it. So, to all my black men and women out there, I keep you all in my hearts because this is crazy. Like, we're really living in some crazy times, and you would never think that this stuff is happening and it's okay to some people or it means nothing. Like, it doesn't affect them at all. It's just crazy. But on a lighter note, moving along, I did mention basketball was my favorite sport, but I have since crossed over to adopting a new sport, which is football. For all my football lovers out there, please DM me because I know nothing about football, to be completely honest with you. I'm not the best at it's just too many people for me. Like, basketball is 5-5. Football, there's too many players, there's too much stuff, but I really want to get in tune. I really, like, back to Corona, it really shook things up. Like, you will not tell me that this is normal. Like, life is normal. Like, wearing a mask is normal now. Like, my baby even got 3 masks, and he's 3 years old. Like, wearing masks is normal. I had to drop my homegirl off at an urgent care, and I couldn't even go in with her. That's why I had to drop her off. Like, I couldn't even walk in with her. Like, you can't even be a supportive person. You having babies, your family can't come see you. Like, this is something that, like, I promise you, when I look back and I try to tell my son, he's going to be like, it wasn't that bad, or I can't believe we really lived through it. Like, this is crazy. But what I can say is it really showed how resilient a lot of people are with just moving forward and making the most out of their situation. Like, shout out to all my entrepreneur friends. Like, y'all are really out here making these moves. People are getting engaged, getting married, starting families, and I just love to see it because this could have easily been like the Great Depression. Granted, I'm not the most historic person, but I mean, like, a lot is going on with mental health, and this probably made a lot of people wake up to things that were wrong with them. And I know, like, a lot of people were like, oh, mental health is such a thing. Now, no, it literally has been a thing. Like, what you didn't know was wrong with you, I'm pretty sure it falls into the category of you need a therapist. And I go to therapy and I love it. Like, I'm upset that it took me as long as it did to start going to therapy because that is just like a super, super, super great outlet. And I'm thankful for my insurance. I am thankful. Shout out to my therapist. Like, whew. Because I don't know where I would be, y'all. I do not know where I would be without therapy. I promise you, I do not know where I would be. Like, because I'm telling you, like, I had no idea. Because when did this start? Like, COVID was what, March? And here we are in August, and you still can't go out until 2 o'clock. Like, you still can't go places without a mask. Like, people are still out of work. People's hours are cut. If you are working, you're working from home indefinitely. Like, this is just a lot. Kids are starting school from home all the way, or home 2 days in school, or every other week. Like, this is a lot. And it's overwhelming. And if you don't have no hobby or nothing you're passionate about, and you legit just like go to work or sit in the house, I don't know how you do it. Like, I honestly don't know how you do it. Like, I would literally be driving myself insane. And I was for a while. So don't let me sit on no high horse. Like, I was literally driving myself insane until I got off my ass and made this pod for y'all, because it's definitely well needed and brings me to my next point. The pod, people, the pod. So I really want to bring you guys, like, honestly, I really want to bring you guys something fresh and new. And since I feel like I put a timer on my back, I really wanted to do 3 episodes a week. But I dealt with some I can't even talk. I dealt with some difficulties with, like, my laptop shutting down. I had to start over. So much happened. But if you thought I wasn't going to bring it to y'all regardless, you do not know me. So I'm going to go to 1 episode a week just until I get everything up, moving. And then I'm going to go to giving you guys episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wednesdays would be my guest day, where I would bring somebody who you may know or you may need to know on the pod. Anywhere from fitness people to entrepreneurs to socialites to just your regular homegirl, rappers, sports players. I'm well connected and well respected, okay? I'm bringing everybody who you follow, who you want to hear more. I will have them pull up to the crib, and we do mimosas, we do wine downs. It's a vibe here, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love where I record. I'm comfortable here. And yeah, I'm going to bring it to y'all. And it's been a long time coming. So I'm going to thank you guys however many times I want to. Because I don't know what you're doing. You could be at work. You could be doing schoolwork, because I can't even say at school anymore. Maybe some of you may be at school. You could be raising your kids. You could be making a kid. You could be doing anything. And for you to take your time out to listen to me, definitely gonna get a thank you. Y'all ain't gonna be out here saying I ain't thank y'all, because I'm gonna thank y'all every episode, period, because this is something that I've been wanting to do. And if you know me, you know I like to talk. If I don't like to do nothing, I like to talk. And if I don't talk, that's a problem. Like, silent me is a problem. I can't even think the last time I was silent. I don't know how to shut up, to be honest. So this is pretty much easy for me. Bringing me back to my original point of people who ask me, the podcast, again, will be Mondays until we get it up and running, and you guys will be the first to know. It will be dropping. You're listening to this. It's August 31st, 2020, the year of the struggle and the year of the reward, if you ask me. Because whether you feel like you didn't get nothing out of this, and I mean this whole COVID situation, this whole 2020 year, you will see that looking back, you gained a lot. Like, whether it was small or it was gigantic, you'll realize you came out of this year on something different, period. And I'm just coming to you guys. Look, I'm a vessel, period. And I'm just coming to y'all with a different perspective. And that's it. Or the same perspective for all my like-minded people out there. Like, I just want you guys to know it's okay. Like, we are going to get through this together. I promise you. I'm bringing y'all, again, my opinion. I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit. So if you don't like it, you don't like it. But I'll hear you out. And I promise I won't be argumentative, because that's a problem I have. But don't feel like you can't talk to me, give me your honest feedback, because I want to hear it. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people where it's my way or the highway. And I say unfortunately because shout out to y'all. That should be working in y'all favor. Dead ass. And I need to get like y'all on my soul. Really need to. Because I feel like I'm more so of the type of person where I can't really say it's my way or the highway, because if you have just a willingness to like really not let me get my shit off, and you just feel like, oh, I'm not going to do this and I'm standing on it, because like I told y'all, this is not a category based podcast. I will really be talking to you guys about everything. Like, you guys are my new BFF, my diary, not quite my therapist because there's only one him, but you guys are definitely going to become my family. Like, it's scheme gang or no gang, period. That's just how I feel. So I'm definitely going to be honest with you guys about my life experiences. Like, I'm a single mom, I co-parent, just getting off of a breakup. I'm living 27 with this like the date. I got nieces and nephews, ages range. So if my teen followers sneak their way into listening to me, I can have a perspective for y'all too. I'm well-rounded. I mean, it's like that. I'll have, again, guests on the pod. That is my biggest thing. Like, I'm going to keep saying over and over again, this is our podcast. It just don't belong to me. I'm just doing the footwork. That's it. But this podcast is ours. It's no ordinary podcast for a reason. I'm bringing it to you every ball, period. And that's it. Like, let me know. Is anything I'm doing brand new? Or is everything I'm doing too late? Like, let me know, because, again, I'm not one of those my way or the highway type people. I'll take some advice. I'll listen to it. I'll take heed to it. Am I going to apply it? Maybe, maybe not. But you won't feel like your time was just wasted. Like, I'm big on that. And also, we live in a rainforest, so I really hope you guys are being safe, because this rain is ridiculous. Like, this podcast is previously recorded, so if you know, you know. If you're in the region of the rainstorms, I'm telling you, this is crazy. And if you're living in a place where it's truly affecting you, I promise you I'm holding you guys close to my heart, because this is crazy. Like, I don't fear the snow. Driving on ice, driving in the rain is one of my biggest fears. Like, you can't see. Talk about hydroplane. Like, if you don't have a truck or a Jeep, your car is low. That, whew, I'm sorry, y'all. There was some thunder in the background, so it just took me off. Again, told you I was going to be all over the place. At least you know I'm not a liar. I'm a lot of things, but a liar is not one of them. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I care about y'all way too much to lie to y'all. The stuff is really crazy. Crazy. And I'm telling you, I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Like, are we ever going to be free? And I'm talking of these masks. Like, is the world going to open back up? Because I am really in need of going somewhere and having to not go back to my car as soon as I exit it because I forgot my mask. I want to go somewhere and be free of the foolishness. Like, I really need them to get it together. I really need them to get it together. Like, because I don't have another Susu in me, y'all. I don't have another, like, what else is going on? Like, we got these Susus that then came and went. They was here today and gone tomorrow because people fucked the game up. I don't have, like, it's just with this corona stuff, it's like, I'm telling y'all, this year was crazy and I don't have it in me. I just simply don't. Like, I can't do it. I won't do it. I refuse to do it. And I'm not going to let this time drive me insane, because I'm telling you guys, it really is a struggle. I'm not going to hold you. Like, I just really, 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 really want to come out on the other side, and no bullshit. I just want this pod. I just really want to make my dad proud, like, for all my followers. Joe Budden really is my father, like, all the way back to Pump It Up, all the way back to, like, sitting Indian style during an argument. Like, Joe, you either love him or you hate him, and it's all love. But that podcast, I'm telling y'all, I'm your favorite podcast, and he should be your second favorite podcast. Because my podcast is now my favorite podcast, but before mine, he was my favorite. And Anaya, shout out to her. She has a great podcast, and I'll list her link too, because I only listen to like 3 or 4 podcasts. I'm not going to hold you. But shout out to all the podcasters out there, first and foremost. Shout out to the ones in my city too, because I know a lot of people in my city have podcasts. Shout out to y'all, because this ain't easy. Like, talking, pouring your heart out, doing things, whether you're doing it yourself or you got a team, it's not easy. Like, nothing in life is easy. But what I can say is I admire the grind. I admire it. I do want to listen to more podcasts in my city. So that is a goal for me. That could be a goal for y'all too. Y'all don't just got to be committed to this podcast. Like, I'm definitely very petty, but I'm more so want to see everybody win more than I'm petty. So definitely these podcasts, shout out to y'all. So we all need to be getting up there to where podcasts ain't free. Like, right now, all this is me. But I'm going to get to the point where they're going to pay to hear me talk. And that's on period. Y'all's going to pay. And I don't mean y'all as in the listeners, but y'all know who y'all are. Y'all going to pay, period. And you hear me? That's what I said, and I'm standing on it. And bringing us standing on stuff, please, 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 if you are going to, like, I'm coming back. Is this thing on? Listen to me loud and clear. If you're going to say something, people, no matter how small, if you're going to say something, learn to stand on it. And those people out there that are not holding people accountable for saying things and not standing on it, shame on you, because you're the reason they think the shit is okay. And that was just a little sidebar. We'll touch base on that in a later pod. But I'm trying to think of what, like, I feel like I'm on the phone with a homegirl, and I feel like I got all these things, and I just feel like, did I touch base on everything? I just really, 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 really am excited, you guys. And, like, even with my like, computer issues and the podcast that I started last year, and y'all be on the lookout, because, and do not judge me. So these episodes will be available on YouTube. I will strictly have it on YouTube because they're visual. But my earlier pods, baby, everything happens for a reason. And those ones, ooh, if I knew then what I know now. But shout out to all the people that came on my previous pods. Shout out to all the people that's going to be coming on this pod, because I really, really, really appreciate you guys too, taking your time out to pull up on me, to talk to me. No, I don't take it for granted. You guys are helping me, and I hope to help you guys as well. Again, it's not just a one-way street with me. Like, I really want Pittsburgh, before I leave, and even when I do leave, to be better. Like, we could be on, like, the rest of these cities out there. Like, we got a lot of good stuff going on. Like, a lot. And it's so shocking how many black owned businesses there is out there. Like, from selling clothes to selling candles to selling stuff for your skin to being on the radio, to rappers that make it from the city, to basketball players, whether you're playing overseas or you're playing in school, that's still you elevating. Like, football players, we have so many good people coming out of this city, and I think what's crazy is we're just now really tapping into it. And I just really hope that it goes up from here. And I'm trying to really think, y'all, because I really don't want to go off a tangent on one subject, but there's just like this one thing that's really weighing heavy on my mind. And it's the fact that I'm literally done drinking. And this podcast, I'm literally low-key hungover. Like, it just be... I think it's because the world's closed, and I be feeling like since bars have like a set time and it's low-key early, I be feeling like I gotta get the most out of going out. Like, now it's not more so how I look. It's like I want to get the most out of my time. Like, I want to listen to music, I want to get my drink, I want to get my food, and I want to get it all done fast. Like, and that's my problem. That's a me problem, y'all. But I just need things to go back to normal, because I wasn't getting this drunky then. Like, I was not. I was really like just on like a slow and steady wins the race thing. And now that they close early, I feel like I gotta get there early and leave late, unfortunately. And that is a me problem, y'all. But I just had to share that with y'all because it's really heavy on my mind. So again, in closing, this pod will be the shortest pod. I just wanted to give you guys an introduction and let you know what to be looking forward to in the near future. Again, pods will be dropping every Monday, 10 a.m. So whatever you're doing, tap in, listen to it. And I will be having people on the podcast. My next podcast will be having a very, very, very special guest who is near and dear to my heart. And I'm just excited, you guys. I'm excited for what we're about to tap into. I'm excited that you guys are giving me a time. I'm just excited, and it's only up from here, period. We're not doing no foo-foo shit that's dead. We're dead in it. Only way is up. No matter what you're doing, the only way is up, period. And that's it. No Ordinary Podcast, episode 1. Brand new.